I, C. Dinesh Jain, Chairman Mandsaur Branch of CIRC of ICI, on behalf of the Professional Scheme Enrichment Committee ICI, welcome all the participants in today's webcast on attracting high-value clients and commanding premium service as suitable approach. I welcome to today's resources person, CA Nakul Arora, and the event enabler from the Mandsaur Branch of CIRC of the ICAI and other present over here. ये मैं ये भी बताना चाहूंगा कि मंदसौर का ये छठा वेबिनार में मंदसौर ब्रांच जो लगातार काम कर रही है, हम माइक्रो लेवल की ब्रांच से अरोरा सर का हमारे साथ ये दूसरा वेबिनार इवेंट है। तो सर वेलकम। और मैं अनुरोध कर रहा हूँ हमारे ब्रांच के सेक्रेटरी मैं सीए विकास भंडारी से अनुरोध कर रहा हूँ कि वो इंट्रोडक्शन दे स्पीकर सर। विकास
थैंक यू दिनेश
जी।
सभी मेंबर्स और जो भी ग्रुप्स के अंदर जुड़े हैं उनका वेलकम। मुझे एक अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली है श्री अरोरा जी की आज उनका परिचय इस सदन से कराने के लिए। श्री अरोरा जी इज नॉट जस्ट ए चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट, ही इज ए लीडर, ए कम्युनिकेटर and a highly sought after educator in the field of finance. His impressive credentials speak volumes. A member of the prestigious ICI, RG boost trainings in accounting, auditing, taxation, and financial management, even earning exemptions in financial management assessment to his exceptional aptitude and dedication. But C. Arora expertise extends far beyond the theoretical. He is a highly appreciated speaker, having delivered over 600 sessions on topics ranging from professional standards and taxation to business analysis. His equity adept at a communicable soft skill, having conducting more than 350 sessions on interpersonal communication and leadership, showing his ability to connect with audience on both a technical and a personal level. His leadership capabilities are equally impressive as the founder and managing partner of his own firm of chartered accountant. He has not only built a successful business but also actively contributes to the broader accounting committee in ICI conference and debate groups. This demonstrates his commitment to the broader. This demonstrates his commitment to fostering professional growth and intellectual discourse within his field. C. Arora ji experience is not confined to the boardroom or lecture hall. He's worked with a diverse range of prominent organizations, including Broso, Visit Health, Policy Bazaar, One Card, Savills, Saxo Bank, Hilton Group, Saxo Rockwell, Music, and Max Life, showing his adapting and exercising across various sectors. His extensive speaking engagement across India on topics like compliance with technical and professional standards, ethical standards, and control. And the audit commercial further highlight his deep understanding and commitment to excellence. Finally, C. Arora ji dedication to education is evident in his numerical contribution to online platform, sharing his knowledge and expertise freely, helping to uplift the accounting professional. He is not just imparting knowledge, he is fostering a growth mindset in the audience. वेलकम सी अरोरा जी। इस सेमिनार को एक शानदार मार्गदर्शन आपके द्वारा मिलेगा। दिनेश जी।
सर थैंक यू विकास जी। अब मैं नकुल अरोरा जी से अनुरोध कर रहा हूँ हमें मार्गदर्शन देने के लिए स्पीकर सर से।
Thank you very much, CA Dinesh Jain ji, Chairman of the Mandsaur branch. And I just want to say CA Vikas Bhandari ji took a pause after he has earned. And then he said exemptions. When he took a pause, I thought he's about to tell my tax income this year or the untaxed income this year. I was really scared when he said he has earned and he took a pause. So sir, don't take a pause on those places. I was about to log out. So any which ways, thank you so much for a warm introduction, and I am really thankful to have such a warm team. We have all the support and the guidance from the chairman and the vice chairman of the committee and the secretary. Dr. Sambit Patraji is on the panel with us. Well, when we say attracting high-value clients and commanding premium services, when I say a subtle approach, the reason I had to use the word subtle is because today we will talk about one of the most underrated topics of running a business or a practice. Why did I say business or a practice? Because maybe you're not doing it as a practicing chartered accountant, but you're giving certain services. We'll talk about pricing strategies as well today. So please hold your horses. Today we will talk about the most important and less talked about parts of our profession, which is that how to decide and how to have the right service blend and how to ensure that you're charging the right price for it. Now, the major issue will get to it towards the later stages of the webinar. But today, let's begin with the first thing, and let's understand the importance of the high value clients and why should we target high value clients and offer premium services. Look, it's our choice that do we want to give premium services? Do we want to have a firm where we are targeting high? The only problem is we're not being partial towards high or low value clients. The reality is that a good service provider, and chartered accountants are all premium service providers, and the problem is high value clients are struggling to find good professionals to work with them. Now I'll tell you what happens. It's a pleasure to be here and such a distinguished group of chartered accountants today. Throughout my career, what I've witnessed that there's a transformative power of focusing on high value clients. They bring significant revenue. The first thing, the reason is they are bringing in significant revenue. But the additional thing is they're also offering opportunities. What opportunities? For having deeper relationships with clients who can elevate your practice, like the innovative collaborations. If you have a good high value client, there's a chance that I'll have very learned chartered accountants on their panel like CA Dinesh Jain ji. We will collaborate and we'll get a chance to get better firms in our exposure, and our collaborations will be more innovative, and we have a very nice practice which goes to new heights altogether. Now my experience has shown that offering premium services is not just about charging more money. This is the biggest myth that people have, that offering premium services means just that you're charging more money for the same kind of services. No, it's about delivering exceptional value that meets, or not just meets, it exceeds the client expectations. So the point here being that you have to deliver the same services in a fashion which exceeds your client's expectation. Now, importance of targeting these clients is that in today's competitive accounting landscape, the accounting landscape has become more and more competitive. We've had very commonly we are seeing international collaborations, international meetings. We have the World Forum on the end of this month, and it is crucial. It's not just crucial, it's most crucial than it has been all the history that we know of accounting, that to identify and target those high value clients, they're typically looking for tailored services. Firstly, it's like, for example, if I walk into the office right now, there are two types of services that all chartered accountants that like on the panel, I have some of us right now, like we have Dinesh ji, Arpit ji, Vikas ji, and someone under the name of Nitesh. We are all serving in two fashions. Firstly, we have services for all the clients that we have on our office panel. Then there is some clients we have specifically designed and tailor-made services for. What is tailored services? Now, to know that, we need to first understand the process of tailoring a service. Like when you it's just simply it's as the word suggests, it is like having tailor-made and custom services, customized pricing, customized way of serving them, customized communication channels, everything is customized. So this is exactly what these people are looking for. So they're looking for expert guidance. They're looking for a partner to understand their unique challenges. So just because you're a chartered accountant, just because you've had those experiences, they don't want a certain kind of, a mundane kind of an experience. Like, okay, just because you serve so many people, you serve them as well. There is something they're looking for, somebody who's like a partner, they understand them. It is just like listening to your kids and somebody else's child. So when you're talking to somebody else's child, what you do is you will talk to them 10, 15 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour. But when that child is yours, you'll talk to them for 10, 20, 30, 40 hours, whatever is required. You'll pass all nights talking to them, but you still try to solve their problems. This is very commonly seen in the way we treat our articles and other CA students. When our article is in trouble, we sit with them for multiple times. There's a lot of course of actions that we go through with them, and we try and resolve their problems. Now, by focusing on these high value clients, we can create a sustainable business model. Now, this business model is not for the client, but for ourselves, wherein that will be thriving for long term relationships rather than short term transactions that we have one service and they're gone. Moreover, commanding premium services will allow us to elevate the perception of our profession. Now, there is a perception we are building. We're sitting in the market, we're building a perception of the profession in front of everybody who's looking at us. Now, premium services will be, elevating that perception. We will have a higher way how the society, how the world perceives us right now. When we position ourselves as trusted advisors and strategic partners. So, firstly, what is our position? Are we just compliance managers? Are we just somebody who files returns when they get the documents? No, we have to be strategic advisors. We have to be trusted advisors where people can, give their trust, and now they'll take your guidance on every step whatsoever. We no longer just present ourselves as number crunchers. Please understand, chartered accountancy is no longer just a number game. We're invested so heavily in the professional skills enrichment because today's world demands that we are more than just somebody who's good with numbers, just another guy who's good with numbers. No, we're not that anymore. So, moving on. Now, let's understand that this will enable us not just to increase our fees. Now, the problem is whenever somebody asks me a question, whenever I meet youngsters, they're talking to me like how to charge fees like you charge the clients. No, you don't just have to ask me that why am I getting the high fees, and how the fees charging is the secondary part. The primary part is my services have to elevate to that level before I ask for a premium fees. We have to, there is a very big difference between premium firms and between two accountants, one who's charging a premium fees and one who isn't. That the one who is charging a premium has more loyal clients, has higher client satisfaction. Why? Because they are delivering extended services. It's not because of the premiumness of the service. It is very simple. Whenever you go to a premium service provider, hotels are service providers, even your car workshops are service providers, wherever you are getting more satisfaction, you're loyal and you're ready to pay that premium. So you will either have the both loyalty and premium, or you won't have any. I mean, this is that simple to understand. All right. So we'll explore several key areas in today's session related to attracting high value clients and delivering premium services. So, firstly, we'll understand high value clients in the next slide, and then we will develop premium services, how we develop that. Now, I will not create your services, but definitely I will try and help you to, ways to add value added services, ways to create those that resonate with your client needs. You're not supposed to create anything. So you have to create value added services that resonate with your client needs and enhance your offerings. Now, we will also talk about how to build a strong brand and reputation in a few in later parts. Like we'll look into the importance of establishing authority, establishing trust, and that not just with your client, in the entire marketplace. How is the name CA Nakul Arora going to be a name of brand and reputation? This is your responsibility, and how we do it, we'll talk about it. We'll try, and it's not just overview that we're doing. We're trying to go deep and trying to touch the points that are required today. Now we'll also talk about the pricing strategies, which people are very scared to talk about in accountancy. Why not? Let's sit together. Let's discuss pricing strategies. Let's discuss how it is saddening that youngsters today don't know that they have studied these in strategic management, in advanced financial management, maybe the course name is now, but they do not have the experience and they're not using it in their own practice. That is sad on different levels, honestly. And then in the end, we'll talk about how to enhance your client's experience. So this is the 6 points that we are going to cover today. I hope you're excited as I am to dive into this topic. Let's discuss the subtle yet impactful approaches we can adopt to attract the clients we desire and provide them the services they deserve. Let's get started now. We will be moving on. Let's understand the first part, wherein I talked about understanding the high value clients. So we've set the stage now. Let's dive deeper into understanding high value clients, what defines them, and why are they essential for our practice, and how can we effectively identify them. Identification is important because only when we are identifying them, we are able to move on and deliver to them. First, let's define what we mean by high value clients. Means when we're taking the session, because I am commanding this session today, so I will define when I say high value clients, what I mean by that. So high value clients in my definition are those clients who not just contribute significantly to our revenue, but also align with our firm's values and services. They typically possess certain characteristics that set them apart from our regular clients. So, like, for example, my firm's vision and values can be that we want to create a stronger form of employment and more respectful more respectful workplaces for women and others in our team. This can be a value. This is the value of my firm, for example. So if I have an organization which again they have similar values, the chances of me being satisfied with serving them is higher. Firstly, the first thing that defines the high value clients is I'm sorry, I'm going to use this slide. I hope you have no problems. I'm going to use this section for my annotations. Just a moment. So first thing is R, that they are going to have a higher revenue potential. Okay. So firstly, high value clients usually have high financial resources and they have a potential for higher fees. They often, in industries that require more complex and strategic financial insight. So yes, both the things are important. First, for having a high revenue client, they should have high financial resources. And secondly, for the same purpose, they should also have the needs and finance, both. All right, I hope you are able to see the screen right now. Now we've got the point number 1 correct. Now let's try and move on to the second point, that they would have a long-term vision. Now, these clients tend to have long-term business goals, which leads to ongoing relationships, because if they have short-term goals, the chances of them having long-term relationships and having high payments are very rare. So, first thing is they value their partnership, their consultant. This makes them likely to seek advice and consultation. Just because they respect the services, the high value services, there is a chance that they will seek and respect consultation and other things of that fashion. Just give me one moment, I'll erase the slide. I don't want to just disturb your view because the slide will have other purposes to solve. So firstly, there are two things that we've added: high revenue, long-term vision. I'll just quickly make a note of that. Just a moment. We had revenue possibility, we had vision, and after having vision, second, they would have an ambition, oblique growth orientation. All right. High value clients are often ambitious They're looking for ways to grow their business. They're actively seeking professionals who can provide innovative solutions so that they can achieve their objectives. All right. So when I say ambitions and goals and orientation is they are looking for growth and they're looking for professionals who can provide innovative solutions to help them achieve their objectives. Now there is next, and I will say, let's say this is the whole. Apart from this, the biggest point that you need to seek for is expectation. Expectations for quality. The high value client will not ask you that what your fees is in the first point. The moment he enters your office, he asks for your fees. He is not your client. He's not your target when you talk about high value clients. And it's okay to be disinterested in such clients. Ultimately, many old friends, relatives, cousins drop you a text on Facebook and on maybe sometimes on WhatsApp, you have a message that, okay, what do you charge for doing this service? Trust me, a high value client does not have that kind of a conversation. They have higher expectations regarding the quality of services. They are not only expecting your technical expertise, but personalized care and attention. So there are two things, there are two examples here. And I hope that you guys will agree. And if you agree, you can just, I don't know how will you communicate with me. You can all find me on social media and tell me that do you agree or not. That there are people who call you and message you and say that I am about to enter into a business. I am about to start my financial journey. I am a salaried individual. I need help. I need you to help me grow. I need you to take personal care of me. And in the end, they might or might not ask you about your fees. Think about it for a minute and you will realize that that is true. So this is what defines a high value client. All right. Let me just erase that. And now let me just, summarize it. What I just said. First was revenue potential. Second was long-term vision. Third was ambition and growth. And fourth was expectations for quality. This is what will define your high value client, and you need no other definition before you start thinking about giving services to a client, that do we consider them high value or not. And trust me, these four are and conditions that they all have to be present. Not just one of them is there, so okay, is a high value client. All four have to be met. Once they are met, they are the clients you're looking for. And trust me, these are the clients. And I'm not saying if you're not looking for them, you're not a good practitioner. You can, but today's session is all about serving high value clients. So no matter what you're thinking of, today we'll talk about these clients. And now, why are these so important? First is the answer is twofold. And we have two things to think about. First, they enhance profitability. Our business, we are practitioners, but we have a business, we have needs, we have our families looking at us, and we have 30 or 40 people in our office on an average looking at our faces, that we will make the money that will provide for their families. And trust me, their families have workers working in their home, maids, cooks, whatever, who are looking at them, looking at us to provide for them. So profitability is important. And profitability creates a ripple effect. Firstly, profitability and profitability's ripple effect. What is a ripple effect? All right, let me just tell you. You drop a stone into the water and it creates a ripple effect. There is circles going back, following one another. That's the ripple. Now, satisfied high value clients often advocate our services. Now we say that the many clients never try to advise for their own CA. Trust me, they are the ones who have other issues. They are the ones who are looking for something, the ones which you're saying anybody except a high value client. Because a high value client, I told you, has a long-term vision. He is considering you as partner. They value partnership. So When they value partnerships, they value your business. They will try to do as much as they can for you because they expect you to do as much as they can for you, as you can for them. Not just for your financial, not just for your advice. They enjoy and expect that whenever you take their services and somebody asks you for that service, you recommend them. Similarly, they expect them to recommend you. So they are creating the, and why you don't have referrals is because if you're not serving the right clients, the low paying clients, I'm sorry, but they never ever they will go ahead and advocate for your services. A big ask for them. They will not even share a positive feedback. Sometimes they'll be highly dissatisfied. Most of the times you will have them complaining about one or the other problems they've had with the yourself or even their previous accountant. Now, one of the problems that I've addressed so many times in this session, and I'm not in this session, but in many sessions on this professional skills enrichment committee, that do not ever criticize any other professional on your professional seat. You can definitely criticize some actions, or you can say that that might have rationale, but never go about bad mouthing a professional. So that's one thing. Now, working with these clients elevate our firm's reputation. So when these clients are long visionaries, they are growing their firms on a daily basis. Trust me, the last time you chose any professional, doctor, lawyer, architect, the only question, I'm not saying a CA because we don't choose CA, we don't have our professionals guiding us, but we do choose doctors, we do choose advocates, but do choose architects for building our homes. So what do we ask them? That if I am healthy, if I'm doing well, if I had a problem, I got healthy, no matter if my immunity is doing the game, we will go to the doctor who has made me healthy. So no matter what is the role of the other factors, the professional gets his reputation from his client. So maybe an advocate has been lucky and he's been, going after the clients who are on the right side of the law, suddenly just, in the ripple of the wrong movement. And many advocates are very reputed and they just openly accept that I've been lucky with the right cases. Architects build homes. Now imagine there's one architect, you give him an opportunity to build small dwellings and nothing big. Now, there's another architect who said, I'm not going to do 10 projects, I'm going to do one project. In the entire year, I'll do one project. But then he creates an absolute marvel right in the middle of the city. What happens? Ripple effect. Nobody is looking at the money that the owner of that property has paid. Nobody is looking at the vision that the owner had. Maybe you had a Vastu guy come in and design a few things for him. But what you're looking at is the architect of the property. There are many buildings in this world who are not built for the sake of the architect, but for the sake of the owner. But what do people see is the result. Similarly, when a client is growing financially, no matter he has good credentials, no matter how good he is into his business, chances are people see that, okay, X has grown from a 100 yards property to a 1,000 yard property in the last 10 years, and who has been his constant accountant? That has been CA Dinesh Jainji. So he's going to go to, he's going to say that this CA has something or the other he's doing, and I'm going to go to him. So being with growing clients, this is how, even when they don't take your name, even when they don't refer you to their friends and family, still you will have that sort of elevation. And if you think that does not work, trust me, that does. And all the CAs above the age of 40 and 45 will agree with me that many clients come from the referral of the clients with good financial credentials. And the clients who are on the negative graph, who are falling down, are not giving referrals. Even their referrals, nobody is listening to them. That you don't have your financials in place, how can you advise for a CA, right? So let's move on. High value clients have to be differentiated from regular clients in various ways, particularly their needs and expectations. I told you, fees is the very secondary thing. Firstly, their needs and expectations are totally different. With regular clients, they're looking for cost effectiveness, basic compliance, whereas like somebody comes to you and say, please file our returns on time, we don't care about anything else. Or somebody is saying, sir, we need to have the precise accuracy in our returns, we do not care of any late fees that we might have to pay. The accuracy is the key. I'm not going to name a client, but I onboarded a very reputed client yesterday. Just yesterday, I was sitting in my office, and this client has been coming to our office from the last 8 months. And we've had more than 7 meetings. And I've always set him free that you come and decide whenever you want to talk more about the service. So he said that I've been taking very nominal service from the last few years. So I just do the basic filing fees, and that's all I pay. And that's a very nominal fees in our city. In every city, I should say. So he said, my habit is like that. What should I do? 6 months ago, I said, you go back, take your decision. Whenever you think the time is right, come to me and I'll make sure that services are given to you. Now, his requirement was not cost effectiveness. His requirement was not, not that things have to be done on time. He said that you can go back, make corrections from April itself. I want to make sure that my business has total compliance. He wanted to ensure total compliance, and trust me, that business has grown from 6 CR as a sale in the beginning when they started coming to my office in the month of April or May. Yesterday, when we were sitting, they had already crossed 20-25 CR for this year. 8 or 9 months gone by, and they've done it already. So, what I'm trying to explain you is that they are not looking for cost compliances or basic compliances. They are seeking strategic partnerships. They are seeking it. Why? Again, because they see clients coming in and out of the office, and 5 or 6 years later, they have a different outlook towards life and they have a different lifestyle. Trust me, there are both the things that the way we are taking care of them is important, but I have to give credits to my clients who have worked hard on their business and they have become my brand ambassadors without their intention, without me trying to advocate them or advertise them. It is the society, and that's it. This is how an accountant services will be marketed. So you have to be very careful when you choose your client. Just because he's playing, just because he's able to pay, I would not choose a sinking boat to sail into, right? Just because it's cheap. So what they want is, many clients will come to say, sir, whatever fees you want to charge, you can charge. But I want that I am addressed and I have somebody to answer my calls whenever I call you. Many, accept high fees and low fees. Many CA firms have experienced that clients are coming in because nobody is answering to their queries and nobody is there available to take care of the client when they want the services. Now, and the second thing they're looking for, I said they're looking for tailored solutions. They're not looking for saying, okay, you give this paper, that paper, take your documents with you. But did you ever sit with the client and ask them, how do you want this to be made for you? What discussions are you looking for? What presentations are you looking for? What is the purpose? Me, I have been talking to my staff, and even the youngest staff that I have is 21 years old. And when people call that I want to file ITR, it's not a bad question that you ask them, sir, you're filing a tax return. Can I just ask you what the purpose for that filing will be? Somebody will tell you that I want to apply for a loan in future. Somebody will say for compliance. Somebody will say to follow the law. But you at least have an obligation to ask why they're here to see you today. Many people will just text you out of nowhere that what do you charge for this service? I always say that professionals do not have a specific rate chart, just like any other service, unfortunately, because everything that walks into our door has a different requirement altogether. So people either are high value clients or you're creating high value clients. That is your choice. Now they are more inclined to invest in services that support their growth. Trust me that they are not looking for only compliance related services. So if you give them services that, okay, sir, you're doing a good turnover, you are a private limited, ultimately you're going to go limited, and you in future want to go for an IPO, I can ensure that your books are compliant with Ind AS slowly and gradually, so that your channelization for AS to Ind AS will be easier when you go listed. Trust me, there are clients who are ready to invest in that. That I do not want to invest 2 years or 2.5 years before I come with my IPO. You make my books compliant from today itself. And keep it ready that I will tell you when when investors are ready, and I will make sure that my books are compliant and we will go straight to the market. We'll go public and we'll get the public issue in order. So there are people, they see our services not merely as a service provider, but as a trusted advisor who's contributing to their success. You have to understand these nuances. Whatever nuances I'm telling you, the understanding of these will customize your approach to meet the specific expectations of the high value clients, and you will also have a higher loyalty. So we have talked about how to identify, we've talked about how to make sure these services are valued. Now that we have established what they are, let's discuss that how we can do client profiling. I'm sure you've heard this word somewhere or the other before, profiling. I know it's usually used in a negative sense, but today I'm going to tell you that when you identify, you will have to utilize various techniques. First, you have to do industry analysis. Basically, firstly, see that what industries have higher potential and what are currently undeserved in those industries. They are the sectors that harbor businesses looking for comprehensive financial guidance. Then always leverage your existing network. High value clients where referrals are more credible, they make circles with people where referrals are credible. They sit with credible people, they spend more time with credible people. So engage in industry events, gatherings, and leverage the relationships that can unearth new opportunities. What are industry events? In ICI, you have things like CFO meets. You have meetings regularly where businesses and accountants are interacting. You know what the biggest advantage of attending those events and meeting them there is that once you are there, because you are a chartered accountant, you're meeting them in a wedding, you do not have that kind of the credibility is not that present when you're in a wedding, because in a wedding you're either an uncle or an aunt or a son or a daughter or maybe a nephew. But when you are standing inside a symposium or a business meeting, you are always a chartered accountant. So that is why such networks will give you better results. Now you have to create segments of your clients. According to the characteristics of the clients, you have to create segments. Analyze the analysis will reveal the patterns that who your best clients are, and now you can make sure that where you have to spend your time and target similar clients. Because I'm telling you, the birds with similar wings flock together. That because they are similar, they will have similar clients. What you can do is, and I'm not saying to just start going to their home with uninvited. No, that's not the thing what I'm saying. At least start inviting them to your events. Start spending unofficial time with them as much as you can, as and when you can. And trust me when I say unofficial time, I am not asking you to go down inside your car, bring them out for a few drinks or something. No, you can do it once or twice a year. That's the low frequency meeting that you have to do with them. Because trust me, they're high value clients and they understand your intentions if you do it on a daily basis. They will understand even when you do it twice a year, but they will respect that you respect their privacy and time. If you try to disturb them very often, that would not go well for you. This is just my analysis. You can always choose to, how can you use data analytics for precise targeting? Trust me, there is CRM systems where you can gather data on your existing clients, what their behaviors are, how do they engage, and the demographics. Trust me, what I am saying is only useful once, as an CA firm, you are crossing a turnover of 5 CR and above. Because until that turnover, you will have a very less requirement of a CRM system. The number of clients is so less that you can just put them on an Excel sheet and you can analyze them. But when you have a large number of clients, when you have multiple partners and you are the responsible one for identifying and licensing the partner who is responsible for licensing, this will be a good information that will help you can identify patterns, predict with prospects, and you can always value your offerings the most. Now let's talk about the second thing. There are market insights and trends. So there are market reports, industry analysis. There are emerging trends that maybe what industry is going to go higher and what industry has what opportunities. You can always refer to the competitor strategies. There must be your competitors around. You can see what they're doing, and of course, where the consumer behavior is shifting. This will help you refine your target audience. The problem with the largest number of showmen is not that they are not good with their skill or their art. The problem is that they're not targeting the right audience. Let that sink in for a moment. And then let's talk about predictive analysis. You have to, now, predictive analysis is that you have to be able to predict, assess what prospects have highest lifetime potential. That there are prospects, there are different clients, there are different approaches. Where is the highest potential? Identify the features such as business size, revenue, location, previous purchases, behavior, and then make informed decisions. Now, many of you must have heard that there are accounting firms being barred for not communicating with the previous auditor. Do you know that there is a very common case in disciplinary that you're not communicating with the previous auditor? The harsh truth is that there are cases where we have seen audit fees has declined from 1 year to the second year in the books of account. The communications with the previous auditor are having you get surveys and feedback. And that is why I'm saying the best feedback you can take of a client is by talking to the previous accountant. I'm not saying take that feedback literally, just listen to it, make your analysis, and then take an informed decision. Like if a client is coming from me to Dinesh sir, the best person who can tell this client's behavior is me right now. I have been working with him for 5 years. So I can tell them that, okay, he talks very nicely, but he'll always delay your payments. So he'll delay the first payment after 1 year, and ultimately he's going to give you a dent of at least 2 years of payments. So I'm not saying he's not going to onboard that client, but he's going to make sure that until he's paying in advance, he's going to serve him. Otherwise, he can go wherever he wants to. Right? So by implementing these techniques, use data analytics, you can pinpoint the high value clients. First thing we are talking about the entire discussion in the last maybe 10, maybe 15 minutes. We've discussed that how to pinpoint the high value client. First thing to do, work on something is to identify where it is. In summary, we can understand the depth and breadth of the high value clients, recognize their characteristics and needs. It is fundamental to transforming our practice, of course. You can identify these clients through targeted research, analytics. We can position ourselves to engage, like we can attend regular gatherings where these people are, try and meet them in formal setting rather than informal setting. So, exactly talking about that. And now I've talked about that how to identify a high value client. The thing is, we have identified a high value client. Okay. We have a high value client. Nakul sir, what's up now? Sir, what will you give them? There's no point in having a high value client, but having nothing to serve after we've added them or onboarded them. Give me 1 second. I'm going to see my pen is not working. What we are going to give them is we're going to give them premium services. Now, it's not just that giving premium services what the matter is. The thing is, first we have to develop those premium services, right? And those are actually a two-part option. So, firstly, you have to deliver premium services. So, create value-added services. There should be customization and personalization, and this will help you to develop premium services. And this is the same way this can go vice versa. So these arrows that you can see on the screen already, they're actually depicting that this is such a continuous and a polling process that you have to be very careful. You cannot do it in a waterfall manner, phased manner. It has to be together. You have to consider this as one step altogether. Just give me 1 second. All right. As we move forward in the exploration, let's just start, how to develop premium services. Now, obviously, the market has shown that the clients have increased their expectations from us. The ability to offer premium services that stand out are essential for capturing and retaining the high value clients. Let's first discuss that what constitutes a premium service in accounting profession. What is a premium service? Many people don't even know that there is a premium segment in the accounting profession. They think that the same service, okay, what happens is Dinesh sir and Nakul sir charge a lot for their services, so they are calling their services premium. This is the general realm of the market. What they say that just because they are wearing fancy suits and they're driving fancy cars, people are paying them premium fees. Trust me, the clients actually hate when you spend your money. They hate expensive watches in your hand. So you have to say as subtle as possible when you go to the office. The topic has the clear mention that developing premium services and it is a subtle approach. The moment you start flaunting your assets, trust me, your clients are getting negatively affected with that. So that is never going to be the case. So let's just understand what is the premium services. There are following key components of a premium services. So again, I'm going to use the screen. I'm going to dirty up the slide and I'm going to then clean it up. Don't worry. I'm not going to dirty your screen too much. I'm going to clean it later. Okay. So let's start. So first thing is that we need to have expertise and depth of the subject. So nothing is premium until it has expertise into it. All right. High level of expertise. It includes specialized areas such as forensic accounting, tax optimization strategies, or even international business consulting. The problem is that I am sorry to say there are many accountants, many who have firms but have not read the Income Tax Act since they have cleared the Chartered Accountancy course, who have not even read 50 pages a year since the day of their qualification. I know this sounds very untrue, but it's something which people sitting in the meeting will know, but they will not be ready to accept. How many pages a month are we reading? How many business magazines are we subscribed to? Ask yourself a question. So, just a very simple question. Dinesh, you're on screen. I am sure you know young accountants who are not even reading the newspaper on a daily basis. Because they think everything comes on to WhatsApp, so we know what the market is doing. So we can always, make a post about the popcorn tax and say we are updated. That's not how updates work. You go to a real expert and he will tell you that the update is more deeper than that. There is a person right now working for a premium movie theater, working out a solution that how he can make sure that caramelized popcorns can be sold without paying tax. So the person who's doing the research, person who's going deep into the academics, and our profession is based on academia. You cannot say that only Nakul is academic because he has to go on stage and speak. So he has to read for 100 hours a month. Not everybody has the same. No, everybody who calls themselves a professional, especially of a dynamic profession like accountancy, you need to be updated. I'm not saying updated about everything. So I don't need to be updated about a certain aspects of the profession because I don't deal with those aspects. The moment that clients come into my office, I will say, okay, CA Dinesh Jain ji in Mandsaur is dealing with this service. Please go to him and take this service. I don't do that service. It's okay to do that. And when somebody comes with the service I am giving, he will say, go to him. But the services which we are giving, we make sure that we are updated. We have keen and precise knowledge of that subject. So, first thing is very clear, expertise and depth. So in Hindi, if I want to say, I can say chaturai or gehrai. It's you have to be smart, expert, and always have depth of the subject. The knowledge has to be deep. That there has to be the word used in accounting is reasonable assurance, right? Not absolute assurance. So there has to be reasonable expectation that you would have the answer to reasonably all questions. Now, I'm sure that there is always a question which is very difficult to answer, that what came before, a hen or an egg. But other than that, all the sensible questions, whichever need an answer right now, will be answered. Moving on, the clients are looking for proactivity, right? The second thing is proactivity. I already told you that this will be the expectation. Now, this is the requirement of building a premium service. They expect a proactive advice. Premium service anticipate clients' need and present solutions before the problem arises. Check in with the client regularly. Comprehensive reviews of their financials can be a part of this offering. So go again and again through their books and say, okay, sir, I have been observing that you've been paying high charges on marketing, but your average revenue per marketing cost has been declining in the past few years. They'll say, no, my sales are increasing. Sorry, sir. Your sales are increasing because your prices are increasing on a daily basis, on a yearly basis. So if we rationalize and make the prices as good as they are in the previous year, I don't think your business is getting as much as it is paying on the marketing fees. Now, many of you will have this question that what are you talking about? What is this analysis that you just gave me? Trust me that there are chartered accountants who are being surprised right now. And that, my friends, is the reason I have to tell you that expertise, depth, and proactivity are the first two things that you need to have. Now, let's talk about the third part. The third thing that I'm going to talk about today is comprehensive solutions. If you are attracting a high value client, you're talking about something, somebody who is an expert at something, the solutions that you give has to give a holistic view. There are various aspects of financial management and financial services, not just bookkeeping. There are cash flow management is just an account we've created for our corporate clients, and we've never thought about analyzing it and talking to our client about it. Strategic planning, risk management. We have read these words, we write these words regularly in our audit reports. How many times we try and serve our clients based on that? Now, don't say that clients don't expect that. I've already told you there are both the clients in the market. One client is expecting this service, the other is not. The one who's expecting is not getting it because most of them are not expecting this service. This is the trend that you need to change. By how? Identifying the right client, approaching them. Your practice will grow and your expertise will grow. Why am I saying focus on the high value client? Trust me, I'm going to ask you a question. Sit down, relax, and ask yourself this question. That when you sit in a room, when I sit in a room in the night and in the evening, when I come back and I'm having my drink or whatever, I am thinking that I had a satisfactory day. I met Mr. X. He wanted to grow his business. I told him about the analysis. He was satisfied, and I learned something new. And the second thing is, I just came back filing the return. Somebody said he's not paying. I've been calling him to pay on a regular basis. I feel more satisfied in the first proposition. And that is completely your decision. What gives you more satisfaction? So, yes, comprehensive solutions are more. And now the last part is exceptional client expertise. Now you'll say that's too much of complicated words have been sewn down together by Nakul Arora. Now he needs to explain what he's trying to say. He's just trying to make a fool out of us or something. No, no, no. I'm not trying to make anything out of anybody. This is the sum of all the interactions that the client has with our firms. Premium services will prioritize accessibility, responsiveness, and rapport. There could be seamless communication channels, client portals for real-time update. Like many of you are using accounting softwares, a software with its name starting from T. Do you know that there is a portal that you just pay X amount of fees on that, and you are able to actually, give every client a mobile health portal where he can actually get those services real time. So something to think about. Just give me 1 second. Sorry, I usually have this habit of, making sure somebody is visible on the screen, so I don't feel like I'm talking alone. So I have to always, balance with the camera approach. I'm just trying to see if anybody else has switched their camera on. And whenever you do, trust me, it makes me feel a little better. Anybody who does. So, moving on. Now, let's talk about the rest. Now, I want to give you some examples. I'm sure you're looking for that. You've said so many things. You're talking big words. You're talking saying that premium services, proactive approach. What exactly? Now, let's just have examples. I'm sure many of you have heard this on LinkedIn and you think that these are just marketing scams. No, they're not. Firstly, you've heard about the services called virtual CFO. Anybody who's heard them? Virtual CFO. I'm sorry, you cannot have answers. Then there are another thing which is called business advisory services, BAS. Then automated reporting insights, ARI. Okay, let me use the words which are more relatable. Taxation, strategy and planning, TSP. These are the services which are very much in demand. Now, please don't start going onto the internet and searching where the courses for these are. And of course, strategic planning services, which is SPS, which is some people call it success planning services. So I've said about a few words that sound very attractive, but I am very sad to say that people just see them as services that can be given by taking a course of 1 day. So I go recently, I've seen on LinkedIn, it's a lot of popularity of that we will give you a webinar in 999 rupees that you can learn how to give virtual CFO services. Sir, a CFO is made in at least 30 to 40 years. Trust me. After being a qualified, a good CFO, I mean the CFO of a good company. I can be a CFO before I am even a graduate, but that has to be decided by the board. But then, what is the CFO services when the virtual CFO is that small and medium sized enterprises do not have a resource to hire a full time CFO? What are the services expected out of a CFO? Strategic financial leadership. Uh, then you need to have management of finances, and you can also know where to investment decisions have to be taken. There is always idle funds that have to be utilized, and of course that your financial reporting and your financial management is done in a proper way. Budgets have to be designed, FP&A has to be taken care of, BP&A has to be taken care of. Now, what are these words? Not just fancy words. Just by learning these words, I'm sorry you would not be able to deliver these services. And in a 1 day seminar of 2 or 3 hours, you can just learn words. You cannot learn how to give the service. So what you need to do is, and the surprising and the ironic part is that because most of you are chartered accountants, you all know how to give these services. The thing is, you need to work hard, go back, make revisions, and get back to your horse. So virtual CFO is an example of the service that I just said. They're tailor-made. They are proactive approach is very proactive approach is taken in that there is expertise, there is depth, there are comprehensive solutions that you're giving them, and there is an exceptional client experience. So all the things that I said about a premium services, virtual CFO is one of those services, and there is no way less of an expert can give virtual CFO services. Just by writing that you give virtual CFO services and by giving it to a few clients, I don't think you are advocating enough, because if you're giving a virtual CFO service, at least you must have a multiple number of clients that you make salary of at least 2 CFOs by giving virtual CFO services. Moving on. What is BAS that I told you about? Business advisory services. So instead of just having, like I send you an accounting data of a software, I send you an XML, you processed it, and you just gave me a balance sheet, P&L, just talked about the profit or a few times, just thought about the taxation, and ended up making a balance sheet. There could be consultation services where you can analyze business performances, you can identify the growth opportunities, and you have to provide actionable strategies to improve profitability. So these are business advisory services. I'm not saying you learn business advisory services because you cannot learn them in 1 day. I'm again repeating myself that the names and services that I'm telling you are just words that you need to hear and understand. All the things I've told you, they are not just good names and things to write on LinkedIn. They are services you have to develop. And there could be an additional service, an altogether new service tomorrow that CXYZ sitting in the audience today will build. Because nobody thought that CFO will be somebody who will be replaced by a CA firm giving advices as and when needed. But somebody developed virtual CFO services. Then I said ARI, automated reporting and insights. So there are real-time insights that the accounting entries are going on, that the accounts are being closed for, let's say, 2 days ago. Sometimes even real-time accounting is going on with big organizations with multiple stores and everything. They analyze things on a daily basis. Charts and dashboards are coming up, and the clients are able to visualize their financial health and performance at a glance. Now, I'll speak a word, and many people who have given the exam of Information System and Controls Audit will have their ears right here, but they just read it while giving the exam and forgot about it. What was that word? EIS, Executive Information Systems. And I'll just tell you one thing: making an app or a website or a portal is a very common thing and a very economical thing these days. You can have a guy preparing portals and apps for your clients on a real-time basis and making the client pay for it, and still they will be thankful to you that you have a service for them. This is you who has to decide that what you are ready to give. Then TSP, I said you like taxation. Okay, you're good at taxation. Move beyond simple tax preparation and offer tax strategy consultations. That can significantly add value. So how clients can devise long-term tax strategies that can optimize their positions and reduce liabilities. That is a good premium service rather than just simple preparation. And I'm telling you, many of you are getting an idea. He's just using fancy names for simple services. No, these services are they're more detailed, more demanding, and you have to work hard to be able to give those services. Last but not the least, SPS, I told you about. I like to call it strategy planning services. Some people say success planning services. So most of the people like to say success planning business. So mainly it is succession planning, honestly speaking. It's not just success or strategy, it's succession planning. So what happens is there are many companies who have never planned their succession until it's too late. So, like, how will the ownership transit? How will the value be estimated, and how the tax will be dealt with at that time? So, you can have a good succession planning services in-house in your offices, and that's a comprehensive service, and many people are looking for it. There are many people who have different children, and they are looking for a succession plan. You can always help them and have their word at it. Now I told you that, let me start erasing it. I don't know. I enjoy using the screen too much. Okay. Let me just say the next part of this session is customizing and personalization of service. The best part is because of the screen, I don't have to create a lot of presentations. I don't have to create a lot on the screen. I can just, write real time. I don't need a laser pen. I can use my finger to write on the screen. So the premium service is by the computer manufacturer. So he's understanding his client's needs and is giving a premium service. Moving on, let's understand customization and personalization. Now, many people have heard this word so many times, and I have said this not just in this webinar, I've said this in other webinars as well. I remember I was doing another webinar with the same branch, Mandsaur branch, and I was talking about personalization and tailoring a lot that time as well. Today, when I got this topic, I have delved into it and I've written this down that how I have to explain what I mean when I say tailoring the services. I don't mean sit with one client for 2 hours, 6 hours straight. No, tailoring means that foremost, you need to understand the diverse needs. UDN. Again, it's UDN, not UDIN. So You have to understand the unique and diverse needs of every client. Their distinct business environment, varying challenges and objectives. You have to customize their services to address their needs directly, leading to increased satisfaction and loyalty. Now, let me just explain this to you very interestingly. I'm going to say, rest all the needs, let's keep them aside. I have a client who has a power press machine. Anybody who has a client with a huge power press machine, when they go down, I don't know what they call, there's a hydraulic press which is pushing so hardly that there's an earthquake every time a piece is being cut. So the accounts office keeps on shaking on a continuous basis. Now think about that, if there is an earthquake, what kind of a noise there will be. The problem with the account staff is that they have to sit right where the machine is and very near to that place. Now there is, except every professional need, they have a unique need that phone calls are not very effective when you call there. Because when you call them, there is a huge dum, dum, dum after every few seconds. So you cannot call them and have a solution for yourself. So they need a lot of visiting. The physical stock inventory checking is very important in such cases because there's just a sheet of steel, and I'm sure most of you would have seen this, and if you have not, I'm sorry, but in manufacturing units, there's a coil which is being cut on a daily basis, and it is being cut more than a million times in a day sometimes. There's more than a million pieces which have been cut, like more than 10 lakh pieces are there in the bucket at the end of the day. Now, every month you have to have an inventory calculation at such places. Why? Because there is a very easy possibility that someone is going to start throwing some pieces out of the back wall and they will just sell scrap and they'll be happy. And there are very common things in business. So the analysis of regular stock and in, out and COGS analysis, the cost of goods sold analysis, helps these clients to even tackle places where there is a leakage of stock or maybe some burglary is happening. So there's unique need with this client. But when I say I'm also dealing with a fancy parlor that is being operated as a service provider, the needs are totally different here. The kind of a client they've come, that's a woman's parlor. So I have to make sure that there's an express need that I need to send a woman to take care of the services there. I know it sounds weird, but that's true. That lady is very concerned about the privacy because women are getting their services there. So they don't even have men working for them as cleaning staff, or even they have their maintenance work done after the working hours. So my responsibility automatically highlights that even I do not visit them, and I'd rather let a woman partner visit that place if there is a visit required. So do you understand, these things sound so small, but these are unique and very, very, these things are not going to happen more times a year. But how do you know this? Is by absolutely clear observation skills. You have to observe and respect everyone's business decisions. Many accountants of us, many chartered accountants choose to have their offices at their home. So their one floor of their home is their office, or maybe half of their ground floor is their office, and rest is their home. Now, I'll just ask you a question. So, if a client comes at your office because it is at your home, does this give them the permission to visit you on a Sunday or maybe a off day, or maybe 11 o'clock in the night? They can say, "Sir, office and house is at the same place. No, come in the front room and talk to me for 5 minutes." We would also want our privacy. So you have to accept the unique requirements of an accountant's office as well, right? Just because ICI asks you to put your professional address, if somebody has given their home address, is it possible that I can, ask somebody to visit them at their home address and, discuss professional issues that you've not paid a membership fees and somebody can go and visit? No. Maybe your parents and your family lives there. Okay. Let's talk about the second thing. Firstly, we've talked about it, that is unique needs. Now let's talk about how to build stronger relationships. I said there is unique UDIN. You'll remember this now, UDIN, unique, diverse needs. Now, let us talk about the second thing, which is, now I'm not going to negotiate and I'm not promoting anything. This is BSR, means building stronger relationships. So, personalization fosters stronger relationships. When clients see that their accountant understands their business, they are more likely to engage in open communication and leading to better collaboration. I'll tell you how personalization works. Uh, Let me just say that if in future, let's say 5 years later, 2 years later, I visit the Mandsaur branch, I'm sure Dinesh sir is not gonna have a difficulty in remembering me or my name because I've personalized it so many times. I've taken his name. We've talked indirectly because we're always in sessions. We've never had a phone call like that. But whenever I come there, maybe he has not been in the committee. He's maybe in the regionals or maybe he's a central council member. But he always remember me that there was some faculty used to continuously talk to me. So this is personalization, how it works. There's a chance that whenever I meet him, he'll have an open conversation with me without ever knowing where I come from, where he comes from, what's our background. Whenever we meet, there'll be an open conversation. Open means we'll talk about our families, we might talk about our future and professional goals, anything, because you've already created a personal relation there. You've already personalized. And this is how the client is expecting. The clients are not expecting you to talk about their kids, their families, or talk about if their wife has an unmarried sister because you're not married. So please don't try that. These are very risky things, but many of the accountants are able to do this successfully. Coming back, what is stronger relationships is that you need to make sure that client feels you understand their business. Stronger relationships on the business basis. Like I'll give you an example. There are many businesses that we've been taking care of, but there was one particular business that I was very surprised with when I started and never thought that this could be a very marketable idea at that time. At that time, I'm going to say again, at that time. So now everybody of you have a habit of eating those fox nuts, flavored fox nuts, makhana, and they're flavored in different flavors. I had this business proposition. One of my clients started this business in 2011. Now imagine I started working with them and saying, okay, in India you have those Indian savories. There are some flavored wafers, chips. How do you plan to sell fox nuts with the flavor? But ultimately, I knew that there's a marketing curve there. There's a lot of things to be done. And I used to sit with them and they used to talk a lot about health. I related with their goal and I used to understand their target is not profit. Their target is not revenue. Their target is not even investment. Their target is a healthy snack. And when I started relating with them, we had a lot of open discussions and a lot of things. And they are one of the reasons I can talk about high value clients because they were one of my initial high value clients. So high value does not mean high fees. I started with them with a very small fees because they had very less money to invest into accounting. And one of my clients works for, I'm sorry, I'm not promoting any of the clients. I'm making sure I'm not taking their name, but trying to give you an insight. So there was this client who works for, there is still this client who works for industrial printing solutions. And when somebody heard printing solutions, they used to talk about, okay, so does he get the cartridges refilled? Does he get the printer repaired? Yes, he does, but not the printers that we use in our homes or the ones which we use in our office. The industrial printers are the ones which print the packaging dates and amounts on your food packaging and all your materials. So you have to understand that business and introduce him to the people accordingly. Only introduce him to manufacturers by saying that he can solve their problems instead of introducing them to any person who has any printing needs. So you cannot print by visiting cards, but he can actually ensure that the printing of a high value commercial production belt is done. When you understand that, a stronger relationship is built between the two. Now let's understand the third part, which is, now we'll call it EVP. EVP is enhancing value perception. Tailored services inherently enhance the perceived value. So whatever value that I'm taking of a session, when it is a webinar, and if I make this a seminar between 20 people or 10 people, the value will always be perceived higher when I'm talking to 10 people inside a room. Because it is tailored for them. The conversations will be going wherever the audience is taking it. I am sure many of you would have taken MCS as GMCS or orientation while you were becoming chartered accountants. So remember how we used to, how the first 10 people, we took our MCS in 50 people. I don't know how many were there in your batch. So the first 5 people on both the sides had a better value of every teacher who used to like the MCS course so much rather than everybody else, because initially there was a lot of personalization there, and that tailoring of the session towards their needs enhanced their value which they perceived of the session. Clients are often willing to pay more for services that reflect their individual requirements and acknowledge their unique circumstances. Now, let me just say that I've already told you what the benefit, use, and everything is. Now let us make a flowchart. So let's do a flowchart. So we will do this. Then no, bad. This is a bad color. I'll use green color there. Okay. Firstly, how to analyze is, firstly there will be initial consultations. Initial consultations. Later you can also do some surveys, and surveys, how I'm saying surveys, not a big survey, but you can always have questionnaires that they have to answer, or somebody will help them with such a questionnaire. Once the questionnaire is done, there is a feedback loop going on. And lastly, how will you do this all? You will do this with the help of active listening. Active listening has a book, ICI has a book on active listening. And I'm proud to say that I was associated with writing of that book. So you can always go and read that. That's available on the ICI website. And also you can buy hard copies. So what am I saying is that firstly, initial consultations. Take time to conduct a thorough initial consultation. It is not just you trying to advise the client, but you trying to take valuable inputs where the clients will tell you what services they need. So that initial meeting, I am totally thankful that there are still accountants who, the moment that somebody calls them and starts talking about their problem, the moment they feel the problem is a little complex, they say, can you visit my office? Is it possible for you to visit the office? If not, can we have a Zoom meeting or a Google Meet? Why do they say? Because these meetings will be used to ask open-ended questions. What can I do on a phone call and what can I do on a Zoom meeting has different limitations, and what I can do in a person-to-person meeting has a total different level. Because I can easily, when we are sitting up, we're talking about business, and suddenly we are done with the discussion, we have a cup of tea, we are having a little snack or something. I can easily ask them that what they are looking for from their business. What is their ultimate business goal? What challenges they are facing that they want to discuss, or I can also talk about the expectation that they have from my service. Like whenever I start a personalized seminar, I always ask the attendees that what exactly are they expecting from today's session. And more often than not, people are expecting things when they pay. They're not looking for your dinner. They're not looking for your lunch. Trust me. Many people think that why the houses are empty after lunch in the session which has lunch right in the middle of the session. So that is because the expectations are not being met. And why are they not being met? Because the expectations are not being asked. No matter how standardized your course is, still knowing the audience's expectation is very, very important. Like I never had an opportunity to teach CA students. I had the opportunity to address some in the MCS or some in the orientation, but never had the opportunity to teach a subject to CA students. And I always wanted to teach. But why I did not teach is because obviously practice has more money and I'm money minded. Sorry to say that, but that's a little true, because that was just rewarding in terms of financial success was very difficult when I saw education as a business. But then, all jokes aside, the reality is I always thought that there should be a Q&A round where the students are asked before beginning a topic that what do they understand about the topic. Because when a child, or not a child, but when a student is pursuing chartered accountancy, by the age of 21 or 25, he has an initial understanding of everything almost. Like what is a partnership, what are collaborations, what are mergers, what are acquisitions. So aligning the expectations is very important. Now let's put it into your client's perspective. Having a client meeting, the client might be looking for expecting that you are giving him good consultation, you're giving good time to their business, and what you're doing, okay, he just wants service, he's not a high value client, let's dismiss him. Whenever you're confused, okay, I say that, let me just recollect some words in my mind. I'm trying to figure out a sentence that I want to speak. Okay. They say having perceptions is bad, like having a prejudice is bad, like already assuming that what he might be a person like, racism, or maybe you can say the words like wherever it is that you assume before somebody has even spoken. There you have presumptions, you're presumptive. I'm saying having presumptions is bad, but you will have some assumptions when you meet somebody. If you're confused about it, the way to free from presumptions is to collect more and more data. What is, when I say what is collecting data, come on, try and understand. If I have a problem, I have a confusion that what kind of a person Dr. Sambit Mishra is, it's not good to assume based on his few characteristics or asking other people, asking Dinesh sir that how kind of a person Sambit ji is. It's better that I spend more and more time with him. And not more means a billion years. You start analyzing people, and I promise you, you'll have a better analysis of them and fewer discussions. So meet clients, ask them about things, and have your discussions planned. Then the questionnaires. When I say discussions planned, then have questionnaires. Develop these questionnaires that can be distributed to clients, that can be given to clients. So please, can you fill up this form? To this, obviously, specifications, they highlight the areas of improvement in their old clients, and for new clients, they are definitely doing some good for you. And if you think the clients are not going to do it for you, the clients are always busy, trust me that there is right now somebody sitting in the doctor's clinic in God knows how much pain, filling up a form, answering questions that he does not even know why is he being asked. Surveys and questionnaires are important for professionals because we need very specific data, and expectations are very important. Going on. The feedback loops. How to create those loops? Firstly, check in on the client regularly. Mr. X, you're okay? Everything's going fine, sir? So I hope your filing and all is going in time. Anything you discussed with the team that you want me to look at? Okay, my team told me that you had this discussion with them last month. Anything more, any furtherance? And what about the contract that you were ongoing? Has the deal been done or not? I'm having a discussion, a feedback loop is being created. At least I'm measuring the depth of my relationship with him on a monthly basis or 2 monthly basis or maybe a quarterly basis for that matter. Moving on, active listening. Active listening, we've had a full seminar on. Trust me, when I am saying practice active listening, pay attention to verbal, non-verbal cues. That is why I'm saying have face-to-face conversations, have these internet-based communications if possible. Avoid phone calls if you don't have the non-verbal cues. So, and attend the active listening webinar and completion. And now we will understand that how will you implement these personalized solutions. Now we've already talked about how to create these solutions. Now let's talk about implementing them. Firstly, you need to develop what? Some customized plan, TPs. Develop customized plans. Then these customized plans need to continuously be reviewed. And then obviously you can use technology, leverage technology, whatever you have. And this is how you will implement. Firstly, you need to, like I told you, you need to develop customized plans. So for your customers, every client who comes into your office with a decent fees, try and create a communication medium. So if you have an introvert client who speaks less, likes to be disturbed less, maybe once a quarter communication is enough. Set up your diary, your assistant, or maybe an app in your phone which will remind you to communicate with them on a monthly or a quarterly basis. To do that, like I told you, in the end, you have to leverage technology, use the technology to personalize communication and service delivery. Any technology that you can. Review and adjust. Of course, if you think that maybe the service that I was giving to Mr. Y, He's not very happy with this. Maybe there is some things he has a problem that he wants to listen to me more. My initial assessment of him was that he wants to be communicated very less to, but he wants to listen to what we're doing, review and adjust the strategy and continue with the services. All right. We're good to go on the next part, and now we are going to begin with the most crucial parts of the entire discussion. Yes, they will take least time, but they will create the most important impact, and they're the most important things and very less talked about. I'm sorry for using my picture, but it's okay. And I say brand, I totally think about myself. I'm sorry, that's just a little bit of engaging activity for you. So, building a strong brand and a reputation. Now, when I talk about brand and reputation, there are always two parts of it. You can see it on your screen that I'm saying you have to establish authority and trust, and of course, networking and how to build relationships. Easier said than done. Trust me. It is very easy to say build relationships. It's very easy to say establish authority, establish trust. But doing that is as difficult as easy it is to say. Firstly, how to establish credibility. You have that firstly. Professional qualification. You are a chartered accountant. Now, but there are certifications. If I have to talk about, let's say tomorrow, Mr. Anybody out of the webinar calls me and says we want consultation for Ind AS environment standards. Maybe they want a consultation for micro and small and medium enterprises. They want to talk about professional skills. They want to have my seminar in their city on a big scale. What do will they firstly look for? That what are my certifications? ICI does regular courses. There are other institutions doing other courses. Having good amount of certifications is the key. So having professional qualification plus certifications. It's not post qualification course like we do in ICI. It's professional qualification and of course certifications. The second thing that you can add to your services is HQS, which is high quality service, which we've already discussed, premium service. Giving that service will automatically create a good feedback loop. And always build good testimonies plus case studies. Let me just give you an example right now. In the last slide, when we were talking, I was telling you about my clients who've done one thing or the other. What are these? Do you think I suddenly started talking about a client and did not take his name? No, these are case studies about my clients where I've hidden their names, hidden a portion of their business, very smartly disguised it to make it a case study so that when I tell this to my client, when I tell this to somebody, they have a good idea about my working style and how do I prefer working. So this is building case studies. Testimonies are not just Mandsaur branch telling people that I take a good session, so pay him large money and get him to your branch. No. The good places I can already tell about that there was one chairman who sat for 2 hours in my session, even when it was a webinar. That's a good feedback I can create for myself. But it's a very smart thing to do. You have to be very smart about it. I remember what I wrote in the topic, a subtle approach. You have to be subtle about it. It should not look like a brag, even when it is. Bragging without making it look like a bragging is the key to building a strong brand and reputation. So what we're doing is with 1, 2, and 3, we're establishing our authority and we're building trust. Now, I'm sorry I have to say this, and I could be creating a big argument here. Public speaking and discussions. If you want to establish your authority on a topic, public speaking is one of the best and proven ways. Start speaking about that topic. Start taking and addressing huge crowds on that topic. Because huge crowds are two things for sure. One, they are very smart. Because a total combined smartness of a crowd is bigger than any speaker. So if you're able to establish yourself over 1,000 audiences, you have established even when you fail. It's okay to fail in public speaking. Maybe one day I'm taking a session, somebody in the audience comes out to be smarter than me. I have a bad day, people laugh at me, it's okay. I speak about that topic 20 times and I am gathering all that experience. And now, even if I was 60% an expert, I'm an 80% expert when I end my seminars, when I end my campaign. This is the key. Public speaking will also help you to establish your authority. When you speak on a topic, there is a chance you get better clients on that topic. For example, many tax professionals take tax seminars. Many accounting professionals take accounting seminars. They address audiences on a regular basis. So this is a good way to establish yourself. And of course, many soft skills trainers take professional skills seminars. That's something for other days to say. So let's talk about the fifth and the most important part. No matter how serious you are, no matter how skilled you are, unless your services are giving accurate plus punctual results, forget about any credibility is being built. Your services have to be accurate and punctual. There are 5 things. I will repeat them. If somebody is writing it down, you can write it down again. You should have qualifications and certifications to establish your authority. The services have to be high quality and delivered regularly. Create your own testimony, like let people talk about you, but also have your own case studies ready to talk to people about them. You can always take workshops and do public speaking on the topic of your choice, on the service that you're trying to build, and of course provide accurate and timely answers to your clients. Should I give you an answer in hope that it's not creating a controversy? If it does, please excuse me for my immaturity if I've taken an immature topic. Many people today are taking seminars on outsourcing services. Many of them are. And I'm sorry to say that the only people having a good outsourcing business are the people who are talking about, are the speakers who are establishing better practices. Right? People in the audience, why are they? There are 2 reasons for that. Of course, the speakers are trying their level best to give you the best resources. But if people are only listening and only going there for some networking and not ready to listen from the speaker's point of view, there is a limitation to what it can do for you. Like if you want to learn about black holes, you have to hear Stephen Hawking's computerized voice. You have no choice. There's a certain way he speaks, but he has the knowledge. If you want to listen to first-hand information about black holes, Stephen Hawking is your guy. And if you listen about relativity, Albert Einstein's theories are your way, but they're very difficult to read, perceive. So sometimes the audience has to be very keen and learning as well. So there are 2 things now I'm going to talk about. There is a huge role of content marketing. What is content marketing? I'm so glad you asked, because I'm sure you're asking in your home right now. So what is content marketing? Writing articles, blogs, white papers, industry topics. It just reinforces your expertise and attracts attention from potential high value clients. If you think who's reading those articles, trust me, anybody who wants expert services not just sees who's writing the article, they read the entire article and then make a phone call. Many of them are doing this. So you can write tax planning tips, you can write financial management strategies. The only thing that you should not do is make somebody else write for you. Because it's about expertise, and let's say I write a good write-up for anybody. Maybe anybody in the meeting, I can write a good write-up for C. Arpit Nagarji or C. Meenakshi ji. I'm writing a good write-up for you guys. What is going to happen? It is my expertise. So in the first meeting that you sit, the client will have a different experience. I'm not saying a lesser experience, I'm saying a different experience. So you're listening to me how I'm speaking. This is how I write. This is exactly how I write. My language is very similar. So once you read my article and you meet me, you'll have a similar experience. Okay, this person was talking like this in his article too. His commas and punctuations actually were telling the pauses he takes in real life too. But if you're making other people write your articles, I promise you, people catch you in the first go, especially the people who are looking for high services. I'm seeing a lot of kids these days using ChatGPT for a lot of things. Taking their entire quotation from ChatGPT, fine, you can, but at least write the welcome paragraph in your own language. At least write the conclusion and introduction in your language when you're giving it to the client. Because machine languages are so easy to spot for people, especially a person like me who reads on a daily basis. He knows if somebody has written it or it's just a machine language. And then you have to make sure that there is a social media engagement. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that this is what it is, but in today's world, social media engagement has a high value. LinkedIn, sometimes YouTube, sometimes Facebook. So you can have thoughtful commentary on the industry trends, showcase your knowledge, and position. This will position you as a leader in the field. Now, what am I saying is, why am I saying industry trends? So my highest well-received post on LinkedIn was not about finance at all. So I got lakhs of views on LinkedIn once. And trust me, once I was rejected from ICI as a faculty because I did not have enough LinkedIn followers. How do I tell them that I don't use LinkedIn? I just made it once and I left it like that. So the value of social media interaction is very high. But I'll tell you how I got those lakhs of views on one post. So I posted about something political. I'm not going to share it. And I can't even delete that post from LinkedIn because I've been paid for it. And as many views as I'm getting some dollars for it. So I'm not ready to delete it. But it's not political. I was not political. I heard some speech. I liked it. I posted about it. So the politician was also a chartered accountant. So I was very proud of this speech and I posted just a small clip. And I said that these are the points that I liked and how a chartered accountant is positioning himself as a politician is a proud moment. There began a social media war. So maybe somebody was from A wing, somebody leftist, somebody rightist. They're all fighting under the comment section and tuck, 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 tuck. I'm getting a lot of views and suddenly my monetization is on and I'm starting getting to paid for it. I did nothing of that course. But the problem here is that commentary has to be on trends because you need more views and engagement is valuable. Try and avoid anything which is not related to finance because when we do that and if we get engagement on that, I'm sorry, when somebody will go to your profile, the most popular post will be the one which you have got most views on. Hardly matters if it was from your field or not. It will help you in other things as well. Like me, I'm sorry and I'm openly saying I do not have a lot of knowledge of the financial markets. Means I can invest for myself, but I don't do advisory because I don't consider myself as an expert of that field. But whenever I post about the market or some trend, I get a lot of views on that. So what do I need to do? Should I keep on posting? Yes, but I have to post my financial point of view on the financial market. Fundamentals, I can comment on fundamentals, not trends. Okay. Now talking about the next thing is, again, content creation, social media, and again, content marketing. The last thing is taking webinars and online courses. I know this sounds very difficult to accept, but the reality is, running a course of anything can make you an expert of that thing. Wanted to say
Question
that
answer लेंगे क्या sir?
Q&A, I think we are just left with a few things to talk about, and then we'll take the question answers. I think we've taken some good time today. Yeah, just 20 minutes left. I think the most important thing, even the Q&A, I can I can reply them through email. For me, the most important part of today's session was pricing strategies. So I will rather take you straight to the pricing strategies that I really wanted to talk about in today's webinar, sorry. There's the strategies, then we have pricing strategies. Okay, many firms need to learn this, especially youngsters, that how to choose pricing in our market. And I know seniors in the audience know how to do the pricing, but trust me, I'm in the mid Carter right now. I'm not even a senior, not even a junior anymore. So I know both the sides a little, and youngsters are still oblivious about how do we decide our prices. So firstly, the first pricing strategy is a value-based pricing, VBP. Value-based pricing is strategy where prices are set primarily based on the perceived value of the services. Perceived value of the services to the customer rather than the cost to deliver those services. This approach is actually deep understanding of client needs. You have to deeply understand the need, their business goals, and how your expertise can significantly impact their success. So understanding how to understand the perceived value. Nagulji, you've told 5 different words. Very good, very nice. We like the use of language, but how to do it? Let me tell you. Determine that how much a client is willing to pay for the specific outcome. There's a difference between what the client is showing he wants to pay and what he is actually willing to pay. These two amounts will always be different. For example, if your services can help a client to save significant amount of tax, my advice is going to save you tax or improve your financial efficiency to let's say save 5 lakh rupees. Either save or earn. 5 lakh rupees is the effect that I'm going to give him. Then, of course, I can choose to charge 10 to 20% of that amount as my fees. I know percentage based fees is prohibited in our profession. I'm not saying charge on percentage. I am saying you know the effect of that value based pricing. You can see the perceived value of the service. So 5 lakh is the value of your service. So when you're using this service, it is essential to communicate the outcomes clearly. Like tell them that you will save 5 lakh rupees because of this in the coming years. And I will be charging 50,000 to you for this service. You cannot write this in your consultation letter because pricing is not allowed. I'm not saying something unethical. It's very clear. We are doing value-based pricing. So what value we are creating is what we are asking for. And yes, you can also conduct researches in the market. And if you can't go, if you say my firm is not on the level where I start conducting researches, I think it's easy to call 5 or 6 people around your practice. At least all of us have numbers of the chairmen of our branches and secretaries and other people. They can connect us to 5 or 6 professionals because that's the first job of, I think, any branch, that we create a community. So we can always talk to each other and just ask somebody, let's say, I am doing this service. They are in your city. Don't talk to anybody else. If you call Nakul Arora from, let's say, from anywhere in the country, let's say anywhere somewhere around in the south or west, you ask me what is the standard value. I say 50,000 is the standard fees. But in Mumbai, the fees will be maybe 5 lakh rupees. In a tier 3 city, the fees might not even be 5,000 rupees. So your researches have to be very localized, and the branches will create these communities. First model is clear, value based. It's a very easy 3 or 4 things that I have to discuss right now. The second model is retainer model. We love to say that we have a retainership client. We love these retainers. But how do we miss that having a retainer client does not mean that having a fixed amount and doing anything in that? Having a fixed amount and doing anything and everything the client requires us to do. I'm sorry, this is not how retainer models work. Retainer models are very common in legal services. More than our services, legal have more retainer services, but the services have to be defined that these services I will be giving you in the retainership. So for example, in today's world, traditional practice, GST you're giving in it, income tax return filing you're giving in it. But TDS is a total separate service. Suddenly he starts adding TDS, you start saying, okay, TDS also we are doing for you. Because we are the retainers. No, you write down a paper where the services and the entire discussion is written down. So you can have predictable revenues with this. The relations are long term. And yes, with retainer models, you can customize the service based on the client's need, because it makes it easier to provide relevant guidance. In small clients case, all the things are being taken care of by one CA, so except audit, of course. So it's easier for clients to ask for advice because when one thing impacts the other, you have the right answer for yourself. Okay. Then offering retainer packages. How can you do that? That it has to be value services on different levels. For example, basic packages can include tax preparation, whereas premium packages can also include financial planning and regular business advisory. Like you can allow them to make how many, let's say 10, 20 calls a month as well, provided how much fees they're paying you, how much money that they're ready to pay, you can give a premium service. And third and most, I think the most important for new practitioners to learn is, and they are missing this out, which is hourly billing. I'm sorry, I don't know why young chartered accountants are very oblivious about hourly billing and fixed fees. Fixed pricing is where the client has to know the total cost upfront. I am sorry, the most common complaints that I'm getting from clients when they're coming from young firms is that we were unaware of the fees. He gave us surprise expenses. There were surprise amounts that were being charged to us. They were misguided about the fees. Sir, I'm sorry. Let me just be very clear to you that you don't have to give surprises. The client has to know your fees upfront, eliminate uncertainties, and create a sense of security in the client. And I'm not just saying tell him upfront, charge the fees upfront. Take the money in advance. You'll have better results. It sounds very rough, but it's how it works. Because firstly, you won't be very rude until you have given the service. Because you've not given the service, you're just saying pay the money or it's okay. Whenever you pay the money, I'll give you the service. I know many clients will say this is rude. But when you have already delivered the service and you have a high amount of due and some expenses right on your back, the language you're going to use then will be much more worse than you're going to use when it is in advance. So then you can, of course, streamline the decision making process on their end. They don't have to worry about how much time that you're spending in on other things. You can also create bundle services at fixed price. Like example, tax preparation can be combined with financial consulting, or maybe auditing can be combined with the. No, auditing cannot be combined because professional ethics will come into play. As a business advisor, I have much more advice, but I think that's all you can do. Some bundles can be created. Okay, you can also do something which can reflect. Sometimes your pricing reflects. Now, this is what people think the entire session about creating high value services was. This is something which is true, that you have to set prices that reflect the premium nature of your service. But that is after you have taken care of the above. So first, it is essential to cover your costs and ensure profitability, but it's equally important that you do not underprice your service. If your service is underpriced, people will never consider it to be the right kind of service that they're taking. You have to have benchmarks. Compare the prices against the community, against the people of your own industry, what they're charging, and accordingly charge the price. You can also implement price tiers, that like what structures, what level of fees that you're deciding for various price points. So what is how do you communicate value and how do you overcome price objections? Sir, I'm sorry, I am going a little overboard with the time, but it is important. I know these are challenges which even very experienced CAs are facing, that there are a lot of price objections. Any client will tell us that your price is too high, somebody is giving me very less charges. This is the last part that I'm going to speak, and I'm going to leave the session to the hands of the panel. Firstly, whenever somebody is objecting your price, firstly create that the discussion has to make sure that when you present your services of pricing, focus on the results you will deliver rather than the task you will perform. Result above task, result above task. What result are you generating is important. Articulate your services, that how will your services benefit, how their time will be saved, how their stress will be reduced. Many CAs are never talking about this to the client. that we are reducing your stress to a very significant amount of level. I know there will be clients who will still say, "Arey, we don't take stress." What will happen? Only money will be taken. No, this is how clients behave. Let them. Not everybody does. High value clients are different. I am trying to make sure your office has the clients who value your service, and I'm trying to eliminate everybody. I'm trying to do that. I'm sorry. I'm trying to eliminate people from our offices who do not value our services. Until they learn how to value a CS services, they're not ready for a CS services. You can use storytelling as well. We've had long seminars on storytelling. You can build narratives, how transformation, how resonation can work. And of course, you can use visual aids, diagrams, charts to make sure the clients are well informed. And there's other things that we had to discuss, the enhancement of experience. But I will just request Sambitji after the session that we can, keep keep this session in two parts, and one other half of this session, I think the enhancement of experience and everything can be done later on as well. So I think I'm done here. There are some questions that need to be taken. Let's just, sir, take any number of questions that can be done up in 10 minutes, and then we'll have to conclude as well on time.
Okay, thank you, sir. Now I will call C. Arpit Nagar for question answer session. CA Arpit Nagar. Arpit, unmute yourself.
Hello. Hello. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. Nagar, I can.
Okay, sir. I have few questions. Sir, how can I effectively communicate my value proposition to potential clients without seeming arrogant or overselling?
I'm so glad you asked the question. Focus on the tangible benefits clients receive from your services. This was the end of the session. I already said that you have to focus on the tangible benefits and quantify the impact as much as you can. So, example, you saved this much amount in taxes, you improved your efficiency by Y%.
Okay,
Always
sir.
frame your
What
expertise and solution, their problems, rather than simply list of credentials. Don't say that, okay, this is what I've done, this client is happy, that client. No, just try and simplify your solution in a frame of reference. Yes.
Sir, what are some subtle ways to position my fees as a reflection of my expertise and the quality of my service?
Position your fees as an investment. Let me just give you an example. Let's just do and try this with an example. Have you ever gone to buy a car? And have you ever heard that somebody went to buy an 8 lakh car and came back with a maybe 12 lakh or a 15 lakh car? This is just how you show this property as an investment, that the airport, not by saying that the airport is nearby or the railway station is coming on the next day, but how their financial well-being is important, and how your fees is an investment to their financial well-being. What is the potential return on this investment? You should know that. The problem here is I'm not worried about the clients not understanding the price point of chartered accountants. The problem is today many chartered accountants don't understand their value of their services. So clear, concise fee structures, easy to understand, highlighting the included services and what worth of those services are. Avoid comparing yourself to lower priced competitors. Never directly do that. So never fight on a. I'm not going to use those words. Sorry, this is a open recorded webinar, and that's some words which are off limit. Let's go to the next question. Yeah.
Sir, how do I handle clients who push back on my fees or try to negotiate aggressively?
Well, listen to the client's concerns, of course. What is he trying to say? Address them respectfully. Don't be disrespectful to the client. Listen to his concern. There might be some concerns you have not considered. Reiterate the value you offer and the reasons for your fees. Be prepared to discuss different service packages or payment options. Like what I can do is, like for example, what is an option? For example, you give a fee, give a fee on monthly payments at 10,000 rupees a month. You can say that I can do this for a lakh if you just pay me upfront right now. So you need a discount or a payment method. It's your choice. I mean, not gonna say how this fits into the professional ethics. I'm sorry, I cannot comment on that because I myself take sessions on professional ethics, but I've never considered how acceptable it is from the point of view of ethics. But yes, you can give them different payment options. You can highlight the services. You can always give them options like, okay, I'll exclude these services. I'm not going to give you any consultations, just pure filing and incoming and outgoing. And whenever you never say I would not give you this service, say so that when you call me for the service, I will charge you X amount for every advice that I give you. The clients will give you the answers, whatever they need. Yeah.
Sir, beyond technical skills, what skills are most crucial for attracting and retaining high value clients?
Excellent communication skills, active listening, empathy, relationship building, strong negotiation skills, ability to build rapport, professionalism, ethical conduct, integrity, professionalism, confidentiality, professional behavior, due care, all the 5 ethical principles of ICAI, and of course the normal commons that same old. All the webinars of PSEC, they are the skills that are required for keeping them attracted. Yeah.
Surely. How can I build a strong professional network to generate high quality referrals?
I say only industry events, attend the industry events, join professional organizations, participate in community activities. What are community activities, you may ask? Community activities are like food distribution, education. Start doing something for the community, and trust me, you pay it back, they pay it back. This is how community works. Nurture relationship with existing clients and colleagues. Focus on building genuine connections based on mutual respect and trust. For example, you and me, Ankit ji, can always have a very sincere conversation without using any vulgarity in the conversation. That's a relation based on mutual respect and trust, and this will generate much more fruitful results than any other communication you might have. Yeah.
Okay. What marketing strategies can I use to attract clients who appreciate quality over price?
Marketing, firstly, is not allowed to chartered accountants, so there's no marketing strategies that you can use as a principle. But am I able to understand that what you can use as a marketing strategy? Well, firstly, attract the right client. The entire session has been aiming to inform you that the major focus of the session was that approach the right client first of all. You cannot take a loaf of meat and approach a deer to eat it. To attract a deer, you need grass. To attract a lion, you will need a loaf of meat. So, right candidate for the right prey is more important than anything else. Yeah. Moving on.
How can I showcase my expertise and build credibility without resorting to boastful self promotion?
Well, very difficult, of course, because I try my level best. I do hear that I sound arrogant. I sometimes sound very, I thinking highly of myself. I feel that those things, honestly, I'm going to rather choose to respect Gandhi on this point where he said that until you've been able to do it, don't comment on it. So, just as a speaker of the PSEC, I would say focus on the testimonials, case studies, and referrals. Let your work speak for itself. Do speaking engagements. Nobody can stop you from, like what I'm doing right now. I can do this. This is not bragging. I'm not telling any client that I'm good with professional skills or I'm good with soft skills. Let the industry publications establish my leadership, thought leadership. And of course, always maintain your online presence. Today, even a person who's not educated, does not even know to dance, sing, or doesn't have a talent, is invited as a special guest just because he has an online presence. So sometimes you just don't need to justify. Yeah, let's move on.
What are common mistakes chartered accountants make when setting fees and communicating their value?
Yeah, it's a very controversial thing you're putting me into. Whoever has asked this question, they're putting me under a microscope right now. I'll say, but I'll still say, I'm nothing if not openly vocal about if not bold, I should not be a speaker. So first and foremost mistake every chartered accountant makes is underestimating your own value. You have not estimated you've not estimated who you are. You've not estimated the clear proportions. The numbers are shouting 4 lakh on 140 crore. You are already acing. You're already somewhere where many people will. I'm not saying some people will say, okay, how many people participate? Just see how many people participated to be chartered accountants and were not able to successfully onboard the process. And nobody I would say nobody is undermining the value of accounting. Some people are not joining because they're scared of the results, their outcomes. So your value is huge. And if somebody does not underestimate them, they're not able to clearly communicate their services, their fees. I don't know why CAs are very embarrassed to share the process of what they are doing. Even a doctor will tell you that we'll cut your this part, we'll go from there and we'll do this. But chartered accountants are very scared to share the process because I think they're scared that they'll do it themselves. If they can do it themselves, let them. And the last things are inconsistent pricing. So maybe like when Dinesh sir calls me for a session in your area, I say 1 lakh rupees, and suddenly Arpit ji calls me and I say 5 lakh rupees. If I'm being inconsistent with these things, I'm never going to be getting the value will not be created. So even then, Dinesh ji will say, okay, you are not pricing properly. Let me get him for 50,000 because not that they are going to try and come in the middle somewhere. They will understand he does not think before he sets the price. He's saying whatever he wants to. So that's where you know he has not created any model where he's pricing from. So I think that's one of the things you can always think about. Don't focus on price competition. Never. We don't have competitions. We are professionals. We have expertise and the value of the expertise. We're not competing. We're not in business. We are professionals. That's it. Yes, sir.
So last couple of questions. How can I balance the need to maintain profitability with the desire to build long-term client relationships?
Sir, I already told you the prices will be actually higher with higher longer relationships. Your longest clients are your highest paying clients. You can go back and check. There are rarely old CAs who are going to tell you that, okay, this client doesn't pay me well, but I have had him for 30 years. You don't have them for 30 years. Because firstly, either they will leave you or you will leave them. So develop a pricing strategy that considers your own overhead cost. You will consider the direct cost. You're not considering the overhead cost, your desired profit margin, and then the value that you're providing. Offer different packages to cater different kinds of clients and budgets. Prioritize how strong teams are being built, how long-term relations are being built, and there is one way. If you don't have a high-paying client, say you don't call me, you call the staff. He will take care of you. I'm not giving a bad service. It is just a few things that I will not take care of and my team will. Every partner can be assigned a cost. So retainers over a fees of 10 lakhs a year will get directly connected to the managing partner. They will be under that partner. Somebody who's paying more than 5 lakhs will be under the EQ partner, and everybody under 5 lakhs or 1 lakhs will be taken care by the normal young partners. It's okay, not a bad thing. My young partners are not under competent, but this is just a way of communicating that what value has your managing partner created in 30, 20 years of practice. Yeah.
Sir, the last one. What resources or tools can help me stay up to date on industry best practices and pricing strategies?
I'll ask you a question and I'll want you to know the answer, and then any audience member or you can mail it to me. What accounting journals are you subscribed to? First and foremost, you should have accounting journals. Every scientist, every engineer has engineering journals at their home. Magazines where the articles are being published. Even online articles, the only ones that newsletters we are subscribed to are the ones who are poking us by, on LinkedIn or Facebook, they're saying subscribe to my channel. No, we need you to be very keen on, having the right accounting journals which you want to read on a regular basis, and industry conferences attend. You should attend industry conferences, online courses, networking groups offer value, not networking groups such as WhatsApp group where you say good morning every 365 days, except those groups. And stay current on laws, like be updated all the time. accounting standards, best practices. It is essential to maintain your expertise. And of course, the most important question that you all have is justifying your fees. I've tried my level best from here. And even if right now somebody is confused that, oh, these are just bookish thoughts, I think whosoever has heard it completely, they know that there is work that needs to be done. There is things that need to be taken care of. And this is not easy, but it is possible. I'm saying it's not easy, it is possible. Now, anything else that I need to talk about, or we can, I think it's a good time, good stopping point that we have.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Arpit, for collecting questions. And now I request CA Ankit Shrimal for vote of thanks on behalf of Mansoor and Professional Skill Investment Company.
Hello, I'm audible, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, Dinesh sir, for providing me the opportunity to give vote of thanks on behalf of Mansoor branch. It has been such an honor to be part of this wonderful webcast on attracting high-value clients and commanding premium services. A sublet approach organized by the Professional Skill Enrichment Committee (ICI) on behalf of the Professional Skill Enrichment Committee (ICI). We would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our speaker, CA Nakul Arora ji, for his enlightening sessions. Sincere thanks to the event enabler from the Mansoor branch of CIRC of ICI, who enabled the webcast throughout. A wide round of applause and thanks to the organization, Professional Skill Enrichment Committee ICI, our today's speaker, CA Nakul Arora sir, and other stakeholders made the webcast a memorable one. Finally, we would like to thank all of you present here and helping us make this webcast a grand success. Thank you all.
All right, sir. Thank you, Dinesh.
you.
Hopefully we connect again soon.
Bilkul, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Samit, sir.
Sambit, sir.
Samit
Sambit ji,
Mishra ji.
ji.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Okay,
you,
we'll connect soon
Chairman
later
and
on.
Vice
Thank you.
Chairman of this committee, Anuj ji and Sripriya ji.
Yeah. Finally, welcome back to them.
Yeah.
It was a little very close and silent without them in the few days.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's a good stopping point. We are good to go. I think I'm going to leave now. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay.